We're taking you live to Kenya, where the Vice President and President-elect William Ruto is addressing the people.
Friends, we started with many of you who are formerly members of Jubilee. You know what happened to us. I do not want to say. But we believed in a better Kenya. We believed in a freer, more democratic, more rational Kenya. Along the way, many brothers and sisters joined us from other political parties. I want to also say a very big thank you to them. They gave momentum to our journey. And I want to say asante sana. Let me also congratulate and recognize and appreciate the people of Kenya who believed in us. They went out of their way. Under very difficult circumstances, they believed in us. They listened to us. You know, the legendary Mama Mboga and Boda Boda guys, they are the heroes of our campaign. They defined this election. They were the embodiment of our quest for a better economy for our Kenya, for our country. The millions of Kenyans who believed in us. Today, by voting for me, the millions who woke up early to go and vote, they have not only voted for me, but they have opened doors and gates for their own children in every village, in every neighborhood, knowing very well that their children as well can become leaders. And every child is free to dream, and every child is free to aspire to any office. And working hard, believing in God, they can get wherever they want to go. I think my election opens possibilities for all our children, irrespective of their background, irrespective of where they come from, irrespective of their financial status. But this afternoon, with the unanimous decision of the Supreme Court of Kenya, our lengthy, suspenseful, and protracted election has come to an end. My fellow presidential candidates and I made our respective cases before Kenyans and submitted ourselves to their sovereign decision at the ballot. After the results of the votes were declared, it was taken up before the Supreme Court for scrutiny to make sure, beyond all doubt, that the will of the people had prevailed. The court returned its verdict, and I welcome it with tremendous humility. I salute the judges of the Supreme Court who have performed their duty with utmost fidelity to the Constitution. They listened to all parties, considered all issues, applied the law, and demonstrated their learning, impartiality, and patriotism. Their professionalism has elevated the stature of the judiciary, enhanced the place of petition process in legitimating election results as the true reflection of the people's decision, and afforded the nation an opportunity to reflect. It also afforded the nation an opportunity to debate and to come to terms with the implications of the last general election. I do not take this for granted, and I thank the judiciary in general and the Supreme Court in particular for staying strong as the shining beacon of constitutionalism and the rule of law, even in the most daunting of circumstances. And you know what I mean. The Supreme Court scrutinized, examined, and dissected and tested the declaration of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission against the high standard established by the Constitution. The decision vindicated the Commission's effort to go all the way and deliver an election that exceeded public expectation and fully met the constitutional threshold of a secure, transparent, free, fair, and accountable election. The return of a unanimous decision on all the 9 issues confirms the fidelity of the IEBC to both the law and the Constitution. I therefore commend the Commission for their noble achievement at tremendous and regrettable cost to serve the people of Kenya by ensuring that their sovereign will is upheld. As I do that, we are all aware that there are men and women who lost lives in this election when they shouldn't. There was blackmail, threats, intimidation, and all manner of attempts to subvert the will of the people. The IEBC stood firm. The judiciary has vindicated the IEBC. This appreciation takes us to the point of proper appreciation of the just concluded legal process. Many of our supporters were a little unhappy about the delay, and some might have been tempted to impute bad faith in the petitioners who they saw to be taking advantage of the law to frustrate their wishes as expressed through the ballot. A lot of this anxiety is the result of long-standing suspicion of national institutions, especially when political contestation is involved. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 has done a lot to create comfort in institutions and the rule of law, and we continue to make encouraging progress on the path towards becoming a higher trust society, standing fully on its Constitution. It was therefore perfectly legitimate for the petitioners to go before the Supreme Court to have their questions answered, doubts assuaged, and fears allayed. By exercising their constitutional right to take advantage of opportunities to establish the truth, the petitioners tested the results and inscribed upon it the highest stamp of judicial, legal, and constitutional approval. Our electoral and judicial institutions have won, and the Constitution has asserted itself and prevailed. My esteemed competitors now have a credible basis on which to consider the outcome, and we are vindicated by the choice of the people of Kenya. The court's decision completes the loop of institutional stewards of the rule of law, entrench our Constitution, and express the sovereign will of the people who have articulated themselves quite eloquently, directly, and through their constitutional institutions. I congratulate all patriotic Kenyans who presented themselves as presidential candidates. It is not an easy decision, and a national campaign is not a walk in the park at best. I want all of you to know that your effort is acknowledged and deeply appreciated. Wahiga Mwaure and Ruth Musheru, George Wajakoya and Justine Justina Wamai, the Honorable Raila Odinga, and the Honorable Martha Karua. May the spirit of love for country and selfless service lie long in your hearts, and may Almighty God always remember you. Competitive electoral politics can make and has made our politics an arena utterly devoid of grace. This fills the life of political candidates with loneliness, worry, and exaggerated sense that stakes are do or die, and elections therefore matters of life and death. It poisons political competition, exterminating the sporting spirit which unites winners and losers by enabling them to access the grace to define their relationship in terms of what they share and not what divides them. Democracy is expected to unite a people, strengthen their society, and improve their institutions, and must not become an acrimonious, fearful, and desperate enterprise. We offered alternative visions and missions and submitted to the sovereign decision of the citizens of Kenya. We are only competitors, not enemies. We vied to unite and strengthen Kenya, not to divide and weaken it. I therefore consider all of my competitors to be my worthy compatriots. Kenyans are united in the quest for a better society that is kinder to its children, gentler on the vulnerable, respectful of their rights, and committed to serving them. Those who voted for me, as well as those who voted for my competitors, want the same thing for themselves and for their children. I honor this aspiration, and I am committed to do and to rise up early, work hard all day, every day, so that we can realize it together. My deputy and I and the Kenya Kwanza team pledge to make Kenya a country of everybody and everyone. My administration shall do justice to all, regardless of their social status, religion, ethnicity, gender, whether they voted at all or whom they voted for. I therefore extend a hand of brotherhood to all my competitors and to all their supporters. We are not enemies, we are Kenyans. Let us unite to make Kenya a nation where everyone shall be proud to call home. My administration will recognize in full the now established tradition of honoring our leaders who have served this nation and shall not in any manner interfere with their privileges and their entitlements in retirement. They are revered elders of our nation who deserve respect at all times. It is now time for us to prepare for the day when we wake up to the momentous duty to serve Kenyans. Let us all reflect on our contribution and look forward to build this country and nation together to achieve the glory of Kenya, express its heritage and splendor, and fill every Kenyan heart with thanksgiving. As I said earlier, the hero of our campaign is the legendary Mama Mboga and Boda Boda. The hero of the election is one Wafula Chebukati and the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And the hero of our democracy and the rule of law and constitutionalism is our judiciary. We celebrate all Kenyans, and I pledge and commit to work as the Kenya Kwanza team in making sure that we take Kenya to the next level. I will be making a much more comprehensive statement further down the road. I thought I should recognize everybody who has made a contribution towards this success today. As I said, it's not about me and my good brother Gachagua and the leaders who are here. It's about all millions of Kenyans who have made a contribution to us getting where we have. I will shortly be putting a call to my good friend, President Uhuru Kenyatta. We have not we have not I haven't talked to him in months. But shortly I will be putting a call to him so that we can have a conversation on the process of transition. Yeah. I know he worked hard in his in his own way, but the people of Kenya have made a decision. And we have absolutely no issue with the democratic choices of any Kenyan. You remember I said earlier, when I chose to support Uhuru Kenyatta, I did not give him conditions that he must support me. I have made that very clear. So I take no offense at all that he decided to choose and support somebody else. And therefore, we will remain friends as we have been in the context of where we are. And, and we look forward to building on the foundation that's already there in the many issues that I worked with him, and be able to take Kenya to the next level in the many things that we would have wanted to do that we did not do. We are a very responsible people. Government is a continuous enterprise, and we will complete all the projects that have not been completed, as we have said, and we will build on that foundation the programs that we have committed to the people of Kenya, and we will hit the ground running because we are aware of what we need to do. I will also be putting a call to my worthy competitors, beginning with Raila Odinga, my worthy competitor, with his Azimio team, so that we can begin to contextualize how we are going to work together for the people of Kenya. Those of us who will be working from the executive, and the Azimio team who will be working from the opposition. And as I committed to the people of Kenya, I believe in the rule of law. I do not believe in the handshake stories. I believe in an accountable government held to account by a responsible opposition. That is how Kenya is going to move forward. And so I look forward to a conversation on how they will hold us to account and make sure that we deliver on the commitments that we have made to the people of Kenya, and public resources are put to good use in an accountable manner, and so that we can reap the benefits of what the people of Kenya have done in electing us into office. Doing what we committed to the people of Kenya that we do. I know there is huge expectation. Many people are texting me and asking, when is the Hustler Fund going to be launched? Many people are asking me, many farmers want to know when subsidized fertilizer will be available so that they can get on with the journey or with the business of growing food for us so that we can reduce the cost of living. Many farmers are asking when we are going to begin the journey on agro-processing and value addition. Many people across Kenya want to know when we are going to begin our housing program. I want to commit that as soon as we are sworn into office, in fact, beginning tomorrow, I will be working with the people in government offices so that by the time we get sworn in, we will have work to do and begin the process of implementing our plan. Let me say to all of you, I know many people have come here. I know many members of parliament are here, many governors are here, many senators are here, members of county assemblies. Let me take this opportunity in a very special way to recognize our legal team, led by Senior Counsel Fred Ngatia and Senior Counsel Kioko Kilukumi and Senior Counsel Kiragu and of course my chief agent and team leader of the legal team, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki. And all the senior lawyers here, let me not mention all their names. We had the best legal team anybody could assemble. And we are very proud of you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for protecting our victory and for doing your bit. I remember when I talked to them, I told them those of us who are politicians have done our bit. We handed over the baton to them, and I told them they should not drop the baton. And they brought it home in one piece, and we want to celebrate them. Tuwapige makofi jameni hawa makofi. Let me also say, for good record, that these great men and women, our legal team, volunteered their services for free. It is amazing that they said this is a patriotic duty they are doing for their country. And they were going to donate their time, their intellect, their professionalism to make sure that they do that is what is right for Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely appreciate on behalf of the Kenya Cancer team your sacrifice, your contribution, and your commitment to this journey. Asanteni sana. Of course, there are many volunteers.
Our East African correspondent, Mark Bichachi, joins us now to discuss the verdict of the Kenya Supreme Court on the outcome of the August 9th presidential election. Mark, thank you so much for joining us on UC. Well, so Mark, William Ruto was speaking there, and we heard when he said, we are only competitors, not enemies. How do you think this message from the Vice President will resonate with Raila Odinga and his supporters?
Well, Well, the statement is important in that there is a lot of people who felt that the William Ruto regime will be vindictive and will settle all scores, not only with the president, but with the various people who did not support him. So that statement comes as a consolation to many people who indeed have feared reprisals as William Ruto takes office. So he's made a good speech, a very reconciliatory speech, and it should go a long way in terms of easing the fears, given that many people feared that a William Ruto presidency would be about settling grudges.
He did say earlier on that he had vowed to work with all of the leaders, and he said there was no room for vengeance. What do we expect from the Odinga camp? Should we be expecting a speech? Should we be expecting silence? And also, how are Kenyans feeling about this ruling?
Well, so the Raila Odinga team has issued a statement. The statement simply saying that though they disagree with the ruling of the Supreme Court, they respect it and they will continue to agitate for the change they believed in. So that is the statement that has come out of the Raila team. I do not think that he'll be making a statement anytime soon. The people of Kenya are still as split as the elections showed, with 48 to 51%. So half of Kenya is in mourning, feeling as if they have lost their chance of having the president they wanted, while the other is elated, feeling that William Ruto is their president and they're happy with it. So we are living in a mixed country, the election being tight as it was, the case being as bombastic as it was. Some had hoped to see a cancellation that never happened. So we are living in a split country as I speak.
And President-elect William Ruto honored the Mamamboga and Boda Boda guys as the heroes of the campaign. But like you say, the country is so polarized at the moment. Do you think Kenya will be governable for President-elect William Ruto with such a huge division?
Yeah, it really depends on how he moves into office. If he is gracious in his win and he extends olive branches to the opposition, then it will be very easy for him to govern. If, however, he takes a militant approach and begins to possibly persecute or make life difficult, fire people, etc., as has been threatened will happen, then he will have a difficult time. However, given his speech, if he continues in the lines of that he has made in his speech, then it is expected that he should have an easy time governing the country of Kenya.
Now, Mark, Mr. Ruto says he will be putting a call through to his boss, that's President Uhuru Kenyatta, on the process of transition. How do you expect that conversation and the transition process to go, considering the fact that the president actually supported his opponent, that's Raila Odinga?
That's a very, very good question indeed. Uhuru Kenyatta is a gentleman, and William Ruto has been quite magnanimous in his acceptance speech. I expect that the conversation will be a bit terse. I do not think they will have the camaraderie they've enjoyed before. I think it will get straight and down to business, given that the swearing in is hardly 8 days away. So this will be a tough conversation. I think it will be quite pithy. And of course, it will be quite uncomfortable for President Uhuru Kenyatta, given that he had fully expected that Raila Odinga would win.
Yes, very uncomfortable indeed. Now, what do you make of the petition process, the way that the judiciary carried out this investigation, so to speak, and the ruling that they ended up having?
Well, that's a tough question, because as someone who listens to both sides of the story, there are some like the deputy president who hails the ruling as a landmark ruling, as justice being done, while there are others who feel like the Supreme Court totally ignored the evidence that was put before them, the glaring mistakes that were there, and therefore once again the country country is hung. But if you are to ask my view, I think they made the best decision they could at given the circumstance and time that they had. Remember, this is a process that has hardly taken 3 weeks. So given the time and the evidence before them, I believe they made the right choice.
Now, what's next for Raila Odinga? Fifth attempt at office, unfortunately, has not favored him. What stands in his future?
Well, I think Raila Odinga is staring at retirement. I think it is the end of an era in Kenyan politics. I think this is the last we are seeing of Raila Odinga at the presidential level running for office. People are already beginning to talk about who is going to take up his shoes, who's going to fill the position of the leader of opposition. So this is the key question. What is Raila Odinga going to do in his retirement? Because this is his final stab at the presidency. It is the curtain call for the career of Raila Amolo Odinga.
Arise East African correspondent Mark Bichachi, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.